Closing the chapter that cost me everything, what crypto actually fixes. Before we jump into this video, I realized something while I was editing the series. I never actually made a video where I closed the chapter on what happened. I talked about losing everything. I talked about why I'm letting the internet watch me rebuild, but I never actually said the important part. That chapter is closed, folks. I'm not rebuilding from anger. I'm rebuilding from clarity. What happened taught me something that most founders learn the hard way. If your survival depends on systems you don't control, you're not really building a company. You're renting your future. So instead of fighting the past, I closed that chapter, and now the rebuild begins. And the crazy part is, I started learning about crypto over 10 years ago. Not in Silicon Valley, not at some tech conference. I learned about while I was sitting in a prison cell over a decade ago from a roommate. While you're locked up, you're thinking about systems. Who controls the rules? Who controls access? Who decides when something is taken away? And once you start seeing systems like that, you can't unsee them. At first, it felt like he was speaking Chinese because I didn't understand a thing he said, but it piqued the hell out of my interest. Bitcoin was around $250 at the time. By the time I came home, the price had went up to about 600. In 2019, it hit 10K, and by that time, I was all the way in. I was even getting paid as an affiliate marketer in Bitcoin through one particular company, and it's a good chance I may rejoin that company, but we'll talk about that in another video. I say all that to say this. If you missed out on Bitcoin for whatever reason, and you really wanted to get started, it's not too late. I know most of you don't have 70K to buy a whole Bitcoin a day, but that's okay, because you don't have to in order to change your life with crypto because of lesser known, faster, more valuable blockchains. But we'll get into that a little later. Let me break it down for you. Most people think crypto is about getting rich. It's not. Crypto exists because millions of people learned the same lessons I did. Never build your survival on systems you don't control. The idea of crypto is to be your own bank with no middleman. If you purchase groceries from the store, do you bring it home or do you leave them at the store? When you leave your crypto on an exchange, you are trusting someone you don't know to keep it safe for you. They can determine whether to give it back to you or not. What happens when they shut down? I've been around for a long time and I've seen exchanges shut down with people's money. Some are lucky to get some, but after months or years, yeah, that's going to be a real problem for most people. FTX in this example. Crypto is supposed to be decentralized and censorship restrained, not centralized. Centralization makes it easier for most people, but too much counterparty risk becomes a factor. Counterparty risk in crypto is the danger that a party, i.e. exchange, a custodian, or a trader, defaults on a digital asset transaction, causing financial loss due to insolvency, fraud, or technical failure. While crypto is decentralized, central intermediaries like exchanges reintroduce this risk, making it a critical threat, especially in lending and trading. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with y'all, okay? So fast forward to the day. I lost everything I built, not because I didn't work hard, not because the idea failed, but because the systems my business depended on were centralized. That's the real problem crypto solves. It's not about speculation. It's about removing single points of failure. When something is centralized, one company, one bank, one platform, one decision can erase everything overnight. Decentralization changes that equation. Instead of trusting one gatekeeper, you trust math, networks, and open systems. That's why this rebuild is different. The next company I build won't depend on systems that can pull the rug from under it. This time, I build smarter. And if you're watching this, you're not just watching a comeback, you're watching a blueprint. And tomorrow, I'll show you the first step of the rebuild.